First of all, hold
Period.
on. Live from Philly. You heard me? Miss Show Me the Money. Co-host the Angela Yee's Lip Service. You heard me?
Yes.
You heard me? Number one survivor. You feel me? Real fucking real
That
talk.
I am a survivor.
Hey, Miss Gigi Maguire. So happy to have you on Who Got That Fire.
I got that fire. What's popping?
Man, like I just getting abreast of just your movement and stuff. Fam, you just a dope individual.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm saying like just real talk. You feel me? Like I just was listening to you, just listening to you. And if we didn't have this schedule at the time, I was just gonna just deep dive some more. Like you feel me? Because every time you was talking, it just took me to growing up in New Orleans, and I know a few ladies that was moving and grooving, just getting in how they live and like kept their business to themselves. You feel me? And just busting moves, and it just took me there.
Yeah.
Took me there. So man, it's good to meet you. Happy to have you on the show. You feel
I'm
me?
happy to be here with you. New Orleans is actually one of my favorite places to visit.
Bless your
I
heart.
have a good time every time I go there. I actually live in Atlanta.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm from Philly, but I live in Atlanta. I've been here a total of 19 years. I left for a minute. Um, and I came back 5 years ago, so like right before COVID.
Okay.
And I literally will drive to New Orleans just to eat. So
You know what
it
it is.
don't even have to be nothing else happening. I just want to go hit up a few restaurants and just catch the vibes. And then, yeah, I love it there. I was just there for Essence.
Yeah, I was
But
there. I was there moving around.
yeah, I was actually doing media coverage for lip service. Um, so
That's
yeah, it was a good time. That was my first time being there where I was actually working.
okay.
Usually when I'm there for Essence, it's just,
Dang.
participating in the festivities. But I also have a contract for marketing with Taylorport right now.
Very nice.
So I was actually out there doing some events with them as well.
Okay. Fucking well, all
Yeah.
right. You heard me? Brand ambassador. You heard me?
I mean, it's trying to get it how we live.
Like a real walk. You hear me? And it's dope for you to really, be tapping into the city like that. You hear me? It's like one of the richest cultures in the United States. And everybody some way, shape, form, or fashion related down there. You dig? Like
Listen, the energy in New Orleans is unmatched.
real walk. You know
And
why?
I travel for sport.
Second,
And New Orleans, the energy is different there in a
because
good way.
we
But
your,
the energy is way different there.
we your people.
Hmm.
But you didn't know it was your people.
Right, that part.
Hey man, like me, hey, tell me this here. Is P Valley somehow based on any way about your life?
It is. That's a fact.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact. So, the short version of that story is I I was the Mercedes of Magic City,
Okay.
basically. Um, I started the Last Dance. I had my Last Dance in 2011, December 2011. And I just named the party The Last Dance. I did not think that The Last Dance was going to become a staple in strip culture where women actually decided to have a last dance when they decided to leave the club. So that has been happening since then. 13 years later, you can still scroll down Instagram and see a flyer for an entertainer having her last dance. Um, P Valley's trilogy is mirrored after the Snack Pack, which is Magic City's premier dance feature set that I started.
Wow.
A lot of the pole tricks that you see, I helped create. You can go on Magic City right now and see girls doing pole tricks that I helped create with my crew. When I left Magic City and did my last dance, I made $28,000 in 28 minutes. I took that money and I opened up a pole dance studio. In the end of the second season of P Valley, Mercedes took the $30,000 check she got and changed her gym for the girls into a pole dance studio.
Crazy.
So yeah, and then there's also similarities with Autumn Night as well. So as far as Autumn Night is concerned, first name, last name is a thing in the strip club. Well, it was in my day. So if you had a last name and was really people really respected you enough to call you by a first and last name, that was a thing in my day. Also, I came to Atlanta the day of Hurricane Katrina by
It's
coincidence.
crazy you should mention that. I did
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, really? So, of course, I was coming from Philly and I wasn't running from the storm because the storm wasn't up there. I was actually running from my ex at the time who attempted to take my life. And that's basically Autumn Night's story. She came, she left in the storm, left her man who was beating on her, tried to kill her. She ended up in Chucalissa the day of the storm. She went to the Pink and did their amateur night contest, and that's how she got hired. So I was leaving Philly. I just so happened to be Friday night that got in my car and drove. It's a 12-hour drive. By the time I got to Philly, it was Saturday afternoon in the middle of the storm. Even though again the storm didn't hit here in Atlanta, we still caught a lot of that rain. I ended up the friend that at the time that I was with, she had been working at Magic City already. So we had went into Magic City so that she can work. And the girls there convinced me to do the amateur night contest. I actually wasn't even dancing. I was 2 years removed from the club. I was bartending. But I did the amateur night contest just for the tips, and I ended up winning the contest. And the owner of the club, Mr. Magic, asked me to be one of his dancers. So that's the other half of the P Valley part is that's Autumn Night. So it's basically Autumn Night story and Mercedes story combined is my real life.
Like when you
Yeah. And in the first season, there was a press run where Katori Hall, the creator, literally said my name. And she said that something to the effects of she wanted Mercedes Sunday to mirror how Gigi Maguire would pack out Magic City any given day. So yeah. Yeah. And also just to end the whole Peabody thing, the two let's just say they started it, but we call me the Beyonce of Magic City, right? So my Kelly and my Michelle was the snack pack. They are also actresses on Peabody right now. They were since season one. One of them is the assistant choreographer. So her job is to help authenticate the script as well as help with, the routines and their pole dances and stuff. And season three, they're actually filming right now. Their roles have been expanded. So you might not know who they are just from me saying what their names are, extra, extra in Jupiter. But in this new season three, their roles have been expanded. So they have full storylines. And also, I was asked to be on P-Valley. I was invited to do an episode in season two, the Legends Ball, where I was honored as Gigi Maguire, for being a legend in strip, along with Jessica Dime, Tip Drill, and of course Jocelyn Hernandez. And fun fact, we all used to work together
really,
at one point.
this is
Four of us.
I mean,
The four of us used to work together at one point in Miami.
okay.
So yeah, it's been a crazy ride with the whole P Valley thing. I am just grateful for the entire situation,
Yeah,
all of it.
all of it, right?
Yeah.
About to say,
Mhm.
so, you know, you checking out the episodes, checking out the seasons, you sitting at home, wherever you're watching that, are you watching it? Are you saying to yourself, like, bro, this is really my life? Like, I really survived that shit.
Well, I kind of had a heads up because, like I said, my friends are actresses on the show. So they didn't tell me everything, but they did kind of like, give me a few teasers. But when I interviewed Nico and Brandy, who plays Mercedes and Uncle Clifford, when I interviewed them on Lip Service, we actually made the announcement that I would be on season two at that time. They didn't even know the similarities between my real life and Mercedes. And when I ran down the list, we didn't do this on camera, but off camera, I showed them a list of like everything that was my real life that was portrayed and both of them was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Now, this was ahead of me seeing season two. This was in between season one and two. So what they didn't tell me was that she ended season two with opening up a pole dance studio. So I found that out with everybody else. And I was like, oh my fucking God, I can't believe it. Add another one to the list.
And
Yeah, it's
something else.
dope though. It's dope because strip has always been taboo. It's a little more mainstream now, especially in the South, but and with social media, but it's still a little bit taboo. It will always have that stigma on it. And we never get our flowers. We don't get recognized for the good things. We don't get recognized as women first with the balls to be able to do that job. We don't get recognized for being mothers and homeowners and being educated. All they see is that, we take our off for money, so we must be hoes and we must do anything for a dollar. And that's absolutely not the truth. I say this all the time. My friends that are like nurses and CNAs and cashiers and work in retail, they the ones that's the bigger holes than my stripper friends.
It's crazy. You should say that, right? I've
Real
never,
talk.
all men don't think that way. Just to be clear. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just to be clear, I drink the same water. All men don't think that. You ever feel me? Like, I'm gonna tell you what I thought was so cool about the strip club. It was less ice to be broken to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just in my mind, right?
Yeah.
And she's so reluctantly to lean back and whisper her real name to you. You feel me? Maybe, you know what I'm saying, that you stood out of a whole bunch of guys for a second. You feel me?
So I don't want to bust your bubble, but I know a lot of girls that got a real fake name. I was one of them.
Know better, right? I know better. Fucking all right, G. Hey,
Now I ain't saying that every girl gave you a real fake name, but when guys would be like, "Well, tell me your real name," I would say Candace. My name is not Candace.
all day.
Candace with a K, because I've always had this K tattoo.
So,
So they were like, "What's your real name, Candace? Candace with a K?"
yeah, make me
Definitely
feel
not.
special.
Yeah.
Make me feel a little special. Man, that is dope. Man, that is dope. I watched the show when it first started. I've been consuming a whole lot of things, but man, shout out to P Valley for acknowledging your talents, acknowledging you being a survivor, and acknowledging how unique you are as your own individual. You feel me? And adding your sauce to this show to make it a great show.
Listen, I'm honored. Excuse me, I can't be more grateful and honored that little old me, and I'm not the only one. There's other women in this industry who their lives was used as a muse
Mm,
for the storyline, of course. But it's evident, like the facts are the facts.
no doubt.
So
Put it down and they go ahead like you was talking like art imitating life, right?
yes, yes. In such a beautiful way at that.
Such a
Usually
beautiful.
when you see strippers on a TV show, is they drug addicted or they got pimps or they not taking care of their kids or and to see even though it's a scripted story, but to see the story being told in the light of this is some real life shit, like this girl is really going through this, or this guy is really what I'm saying, like this is what's really happening behind the scenes, quote unquote. Just to shine a light on strip in a different way, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think also like until you've been in that world. When I lived out there, I was I was there maybe every day except for 2 weeks out of the year at Blazing Saddles. You feel me? Like I was out there. Real, my little partner used to bring me over there, man, and I could hang out with him. So you get to know the girls and get to see. You feel me? Like, and I used to love that. I said, these real hustlers. You know what I'm saying? To be up here with fearless, out here putting it down like this. Your cats don't have an idea. You know what I'm saying? I had a very bigger, different type of respect. And to keep it funky, it's not like I didn't. It's just that when you get to know, like I guess a little storyboard behind these hustlers and this courage, you feel me? To me, you look at a person like, I'm bro, like you feel me?
Yeah, listen, everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own path that led them to the doors of the strip club. Everybody has their own experience inside the strip club, and everybody leaves when and why they're supposed to. So, one thing you can't do is cookie cut a dancer. And that's what unfortunately that's what they try to do. But it's impossible to cookie cut a dancer because none of us have the same story.
Hey, how you gonna cookie cut somebody that's been doing studying dancing for real since 4 years old? You feel me?
And that's how I was able to with me when I first started at Magic, with me being 90 pounds in the A cup, not 90, 110 pounds in the A cup. That's what got me to the level that I eventually got to was my talent. That's
So,
what got me hired. I got hired at 110 pounds in the A cup. And you don't see that in a strip club. These girls is big thigh, big booty, big titty, and I was not that. But I was talented.
yeah,
I had real dancing skills. So
right.
that's it. That's what set me apart from the girls in that contest, and that's what's shined the light on me enough for the owner of the club to offer me a dancing position. So
That's what I was saying. Like I was reading up on you. How you gonna, you know, how you not gonna be talented when you've been doing this since 4 years of age? Dancing, professional, learning. How was that? Do you have some fond memories of learning
I
this.
have great memories as far back as I can remember. Dancing is my therapy. People often ask me, do I miss the club? I don't technically miss the club, but I miss that release, that therapeutic release that I got on stage. I actually, 2 years ago for my birthday, and then a few months later when my P-Valley episode was released, I danced at the club that I was bartending at. I did like like a birthday set, and then when I did my viewing party, I danced again. And that birthday set that I did was so therapeutic. Like beyond the little money that I made, it was just the fact that I was just able to have that therapeutic release with just the dancing part of it, because it's in me and it's always been in me. Like 40 years later, it's still in me. But dancing for me as a child, it was as far back as I can remember, it was the first thing that I excelled in. It was the first time that I realized that I was special. It was the first time that I realized that I was talented and actually how smart I was. Because I was always able to just catch on really quickly and figure out the moves and keep up with the older girls to the point where I would advance in my classes and I would be the littlest one in the front doing everything that the big girls was doing and keeping up with them. Um, and my parents, may they both rest in peace, always praised me when it came to my talent and my intelligence. So that's something that I've always kind of it's always kind of been drilled in my head, from a child, just how special I was.
That's dope, man. My condolences on your
Thank
mom.
you.
Um,
Yeah, thank you.
I think it take a remarkable person, you feel me, to also know that your talents identify yourself. Okay, this is my special something. Like,
Hmm.
so that's dope, man. That's dope. You heard me,
Thank you.
like I said, I was just tripping off of your story, man. Um, not, you remind me of somebody I know,
Mm.
but then again, you don't. You feel like,
I'm a unicorn. I'm very unique.
so,
I'm also a chameleon
okay,
because I can adapt to just about any situation.
tell me this. What was it like as soon as you got there from Philly, like that, Katrina? Like, was it hard to adapt? How was you feeling out your way when you got, saying to Atlanta?
So, um, for me in life, uh, the theme for my life, unfortunately, has for a long time has been sink or swim. And like I said, I was running from a abusive partner. I was running for my life. I left with next to nothing. I left my daughter with my family. I had one person in Atlanta besides the girl that I came with that I knew, and that was my cousin. I ended up staying with her, sleeping on her floor for 6 weeks. And in that 6 week time, I did nothing but work. Me and the girl that I came with eventually fell out. The guy, the reason why we fell out is because the guy that I was running from, his best friend and her best friend were a couple. And she told her best friend where we were at and that I was dancing at Magic City. Her boyfriend told him, and he came down to Atlanta and literally walked in Magic City on a Monday night while I was on stage. And that was the terrible situation, which caused me and her to have a falling out. So now I don't know anybody but my cousin who I'm staying with. And even though she's family, we're not that close. She's a little older than me and we don't really have much in common. I knew nobody here besides the girls that I was meeting and a few, guys that I was meeting at the club. So literally that first 6 weeks that I was here, I just worked every single day. I worked Monday through Saturday, unless I was too tired and I just needed the rest. I worked Monday through Saturday and I didn't buy anything. I just got my hair and nails done and put gas in my car and a few like outfits for work. But other than that, I like saved all my money. By the time I got ready to go back to Philly, I had 30,000 saved.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I took that money. I got some titties. Not these ones. These some new ones. Well, these new compared to then. But I got my titties done. I threw my daughter a big birthday party. I put a down payment deposit on the house. Not down payment like bought it, but rented a house. I stayed in Philly for 2 months after that. After I got my breast done, I stayed in Philly for 2 months and healed. And then when I came back to Atlanta, I came back with my with a U-Haul truck full of all my shit with my daughter. And yeah, I was ready to rock and roll. I've been here ever since for the most part.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Somebody will tell you, go get a shit. You feel me? Go get a shit. Hey, how in the hell does a woman walk out the strip club with no money? I was
It
tripping off.
happened.
He was like, man, no, it happens. How the
It
hell
happened.
is the hell
It
a
happened.
negative night at that sometimes?
It happens. And it happens to the best of us. And a lot of these girls will lie and say, oh, I ain't never. Yes, you have. We all have. So basically, you have to pay to work, right? If you are starting with at home, if you are a mother, you paying your babysitter.
Right?
You got to put gas in your car. You might have gotten your hair or your nails done that day. You might pay to get your makeup done. When you get to the club, you paying to walk in the door. They call it a house fee or a bar fee, depending on where you at. Stage fee, tip out, right? You pay that at Magic City. You pay it walking in the door.
Shit.
Um, from there, you might buy a new outfit to dance in, or some shoes to dance in. You might buy some food or some drinks, or get a hookah. And then by the time it's a slow night, by the time the end of the night, you look up and you in the negative.
So simple as that.
That what happens. Everybody, even the best of us, don't have good nights all the time.
Right.
And one thing that, is not any reason why that happens. Every night ain't your night. You can't win them all.
So
Michael Jordan couldn't win them all.
real talk.
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all. Hey,
Can't win them all. Every night is not gonna be your night. You ain't gonna make $1,000 every night. You might not make $100 some nights. And that's like true tea.
tell me this. Um, what is whether it's yourself or somebody else, what you think is the most a woman dancing made in one evening or one week that was like, you know what, this is why I love this fucking job.
Well, speaking from myself, my last dance, of course, was my highest paid night. That was 28,000. I had a birthday party where I made 18 and some change. There was another birthday party where one of my friends made 25 plus thousand, and most of that came from our good friend Tunchi, Lil Wayne.
That's right.
And yeah, I've seen I've seen girls make a lot of money.
Yes, sir.
More recently, because I spend a lot of time in Magic. I was just there on Monday. Like if you trying to catch me outside in Atlanta, 9 times out of 10, pull up to Magic City because I might be there. Like for real. Literally, when I was there on Monday, I ran into a super fan that was at the table right next to me, and you would have thought we was friends sitting there catching up the whole time. We talked and took pictures and everything the whole time. But recently I was in Magic, and they shut the club down, and some celebrities came in, and it was like an after hour situation, and there was a good, I want to say, 150,000 on the floor by the time it was all over. And those girls, it was maybe, I think, 20 girls that got to stay, and those 20 girls split up that 150K. And this was literally like a few months ago. Like this was recent. This was in 24.
I went there one night. It was Drake and Future. I think it was.
Oh yeah, you seen a tsunami that night. I already know.
Yeah,
I wasn't there, but I know plenty of those nights.
it was his. He changed it to Future City that night.
I
So
remember that. Yeah, I remember that night. I wasn't there. I think I might have been living in New York at that time. But yeah, I remember that night.
I seen like a Brinks truck pull up. You heard me, and I was like, "Huh, bro?" You heard me, and we was up in there, and I was like, "Of course, it was a gang of people." And I was this first time I ever walked in a dance club, and they had all these ladies just sitting astute on the stage waiting. They was just
Sitting there,
waiting, ready to.
patiently waiting, lined up like pigeons, waiting for the crumbs to drop. Period.
It was about to go to fuck.
Like I said, I wasn't there, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was. Somebody invited me. They was like, "Nah, trust me, Drake. Like it's gonna be good." And I had a hell of a time. Who would you think? What you think? Who you think is the Mount Rushmore of dancers? Who's your Mount Rushmore dancers?
Myself included.
Of course.
Okay. Um, Now we talking money or we talking
I want
performance?
Other how you see it, Gigi. Like you feel me? Like how you
But
see
it's two different. It's two different. We
it.
judging by
Money and
we
what?
judging by how much money these girls was making, or we judging by the talent.
Okay, let's do both.
Okay. So I would be on both, honestly.
Of course, obviously.
Now, when it comes to the coin, I would put tip drill,
Okay,
Miami tip.
okay,
I would put Jocelyn.
okay.
We knew her as Chanela Betancourt back in the club, but Jocelyn Hernandez.
Hey, shout out to Jocelyn. Tips.
Um, yes. I would put um OG India from
Okay,
Magic City.
okay, OG India.
And what we do? 4 or 5?
That's including you. That's four.
4. But
Right?
how many on my Rushmore? Four or
Meaning
five.
it's your Mount Rushmore.
Let's do top 5. Let's do top 5.
Okay,
Um, and we talking about money still.
right?
Who else made? Who else was a go-getter? OG India.
Hit the coin.
Oh, I'm gonna say white chocolate.
And chocolate. Okay.
White chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
India.
Now, Tip Drill, Jessica. I mean, not Jessica. Tip Drill, Jocelyn, OG India, myself, and white chocolate.
Top
Now,
five. Break it back.
top 5 earners. Now we're gonna go top 5 with the talent.
Okay. We start with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep myself, Tip Drill, and white chocolate.
Okay.
hmm I'm gonna replace India and Jocelyn with Spider and Magic.
All right, imagine. Nice. Nice.
We talking real performance. We talking like no matter. We talking dance so good they ain't even had to take their clothes off, and nobody even cared to notice that they didn't take their clothes off. We talking can captivate an audience in any club, in any city, in any state, in any country with the moves and the dances and just the pure entertainment. Absolutely.
Hey, tell me this here. Do a dancer, it may be an ignorant question. I want you, we're gonna shoot the shit.
No, you can answer whatever you want. I promise you, I got an answer for every question you ask.
Oh, that's right. Tell me this here. Are there any dancers that are getting more wifed up than usual?
Currently, I don't know,
Don't know, right? But it
but I
was
will say the reason why I left the club was for a man.
for
A,
sure.
a rich nigga definitely saved me. In the strip club, we call that being saved. And
Yes,
in my day, honestly, that was the goal. In
sure.
my day, the girlies wasn't entrepreneuring the way they entrepreneuring right now. The girlies wasn't getting their money the way they getting money right now. In my day, we still was wishing and hoping and praying for a nigga to come in there and snatch us up out of there. And that happened to me.
Right.
That happened to Trish. Trish is actually married to Pac-Man Jones. He snatched her up out of Magic City.
Oh, go ahead on, Pac, man.
Yeah, they're still together, married.
That's how I go. I like what I like.
Children. Yes. Um, I don't know that that's happening right now. I feel like right now these girls is getting to their own bag, and that's not the goal anymore. And listen, this happened to me almost 15 years ago that this man snatched me up at the club. So it was a different time back then. I feel like the girlies these days are focused on not getting a rich nigga, but being a rich nigga.
I see that all day, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that's the difference in back then and now. We wasn't focused on being rich. We was focused on making it happen and snagging a rich nigga
It's
and
safe.
having him save us. And for me personally, I was self-made and saved
Sure,
because I was the queen
sure.
and right at the top of my mountain, right at the pinnacle at my peak, this man snatched me up out of there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
yeah.
crown. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Champion. He like, tell me this here.
Yeah.
Like the music was driven and inspired a whole lot then. Like
Hey.
who you jamming to nowadays? You know what I mean? I know the music was different then, but like, and you hear a whole bunch of bullshit out there too. But who you jamming to today?
Today, so I listen to I gotta keep them from fighting. This is Leo.
Leah?
So mhm.
What a
So
lady.
he not gonna stay long because he's not an affectionate type. I just wanted to separate them for a second. Look, he already ready trying to get down. Just relax. If I would have picked up Ladybug, she would have snuggled up in my arms. But Leo, he ain't the one. Okay, go ahead. I just want y'all to stop fighting because I'm busy. Go. Um, so I'm 45 years old, right? I still listen to Jeezy, Jay-Z. I listen to a lot of Trey songs. That's my bro. So shout out to him. I was in the studio with him for 6 years straight,
Wow.
listening and learning and being involved in the creative process of a lot of his albums, from Trey Day to Chapter 5.
Yeah.
Um, PPP, Ready. Yeah, I was around for all of that. Anticipation 1 and 2. That's actually my voice. Songbook, baby. That's my voice on Anticipation 1. Famous.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my voice.
We'll put that
Um,
face in
but
it.
also I like the girlies right now. I'm listening to Lotto. I'm listening to JT. I'm listening to Meg. I'm listening to Mona Leo. I'm listening to Big Boss Vet. Yeah, I'm here for the girlies. I'm listening to Glorilla. Like, I'm here for the girlies right now, for sure. I love, and of course my baby Cardi B. I love the fact that the ladies have really stepped it up and are really starting to get their shine. Even though back in my day we had our Missy and our Little Kim and our Foxy and our MC Light, I just feel like it's a difference these days. I feel like it's a little bit more saturated now. I feel like the women is just like knocking them down, knocking them down, knocking them down right now in music, and I'm here for that.
So
Oh, and contrary to popular belief of everybody else right now, because everybody want to be on a bandwagon and dick ride, I'm actually still listening to Drake.
man, listen,
I love Drizzy Down.
that's funny you should say that, right? I said to myself, I don't like how you know, hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it, right? I don't like how our people think it can only be one.
Exactly.
What
It's
that,
enough room for all of us.
yeah, it's enough.
If McDonald's and Burger King could be right across the street from each other and thrive, if Popeyes and Church's Chicken could be right across the street from each other and thrive, why can't we
I don't
as
know.
Black people?
That,
And
that's
I managed a strip club back in Philly in 2015, and there was the other strip club because there's not a lot of booty clubs in Philly, and it's really none right now. But even then, it was only one, and
yeah.
it was an Onyx. And when Vanity, which is the club that I was managing, came and started, Onyx had a problem with it, and I'm like, I even said to them, like, we actually had to do a sit down because I was friends with the GM over there. And like, I'm like, we don't gotta be at war. It don't gotta be us against y'all. It's enough money for everybody to eat. Like, if Nike and Reebok, you know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we? So I believe that about hip hop as well, about music in general. Like, it's enough out here for everybody. And everybody like what they like, you know?
I say it all the time. I want to tell you, what was it like managing a strip club?
It was definitely an experience. My role was the entertainment director. So I basically was in charge of the girls. I was the only woman in management. And so it started out with me coming in to be a consultant because they were changing from a gentleman's club to a booty club. And the owner, I used to work for the owner back in the day, and we've always, been close. So I was living in New York at the time. So it started out with me just being a consultant helping them. But then I was offered a full-time position with benefits and everything. So it was an experience, to say the least. I did a lot of fighting for our integrity for the girls. I was an army of one. But what these girls don't understand, and you being from the South and you spending time in Atlanta, you know the difference between uh, a respectable space and a ratchet space.
So,
I really wanted to keep that club respectable, but they just was pushing down the door to make it ratchet. And eventually they won. I bowed out and I let them have it. And unfortunately, that club was no longer around. So they should have listened to the girl.
what's the difference between a
They
club?
should listen to the girl. But that was an experience that I love. I often get asked if I would one day want to own a strip club? And the answer to that question is also yes. And I feel like me having the experience of being a manager at the club, even though it was only for 1 year, I feel like me having that experience definitely helped me understand that one day I can possibly, in fact, own and run my own strip club. So that would be like a dream come true if that was to ever happen.
Right. And you could easily put together a whole another movie, TV show, through life experiences and through your lens as well.
Hmm.
Tell me this here, what's the difference? How you look at what's the difference between a gentleman's club and a booty club?
White and black.
Plain black.
Yeah. The
So
white club, when the girls are sitting at the bar talking for and they try their goal is to get you in the champagne room or to get you in a private room or to get you to do a lap dance. And the booty club, oh, and the music, of course. You listen to rock music mostly, a little bit of Prince and Janet Jackson and Tina Marie and Michael. But not as much, not as much rap versus so you would have like your Cheetah is a gentleman's club.
I'm about to say,
Um, where I worked, the very first club I worked at was called Delilah's. There's a club called Cheerleaders. Those are like the gentlemen's clubs. Magic City is a booty club. It ain't no private room in Magic City. Your goal is to get a nigga to make it rain on you, not to sit and talk for hours. The last thing you want to do is sit and talk for hours. But in the gentleman's club, you're gonna sit and talk, and he gonna slide you 20s every few, you know what I'm saying, every 30 minutes or so. He's sliding you some money. Um, and then he's eventually either going to get a dance or go in the room or but in the booty club is just it's quick, it's quicker money, it's rain, it's throw it in the air, watch them get it off the floor. They not making it rain in the gentleman's club.
um,
Mm-mm. I remember one time I was working at Cheerleaders in Philly and AI and Fabulous came in the club and AI made it rain on me and I was just like, oh my, this is before I ever came to Atlanta, and I was like, oh my God, I had never seen that ever in my life.
man, crazy you should mention that, right? I remember I was on tour. We stopped in Atlanta, and I haven't been in the strip club. Like the little spots we were at, it was nothing. Atlanta's like to me, the premiere of if you're gonna do it
The
right.
Mecca.
There you go to
It's the
Mecca,
strip club Mecca.
literally, right?
Yeah.
Man, so it's crazy you should mention AI, right? So I walk in this spot. It's how far back it was. They had a dude out front selling porno DVDs and shit. He had his little setup, you heard me? So I walk in there and this girl was like, say Fiend, you're not from here, huh? I was like, no, I ain't from here. I could tell. I was like, how you could tell? Because AI was just in here and he just spent 15,000 throwing it up and you ain't really spending that much. I said, shit. I said, well, at the moment I ain't got AI money, but I mean I respect your money. I'm like, damn. You feel
Yeah.
me? So that was I enjoyed it, man. Like I was in I think pinups.
Mm.
I
I haven't
remember
been to pinups in years.
really.
I heard they remodeled.
The reminder, I ain't been in it a minute, but when I was there, it was like right after Katrina, and I remember Jeezy and Jermaine Dupri had got on stage and
Mm.
throwing it right, and I was hanging out with Big Boy, we just burning doobies, and I got appreciation for the
You
culture.
gotta go over there. Now he wanna come back. Go over there.
You want
Sit
to
down.
come get a second of love and get out.
Sit down. No, he good. My dogs are very they listen.
What breed is that?
Poodle,
Nice.
teacup. It's a boy and a girl. Mhm.
You breeding them or just pet on them?
No, um, just pets.
That's nice. That's nice. You heard that, Peter?
They need companionship. Somebody around here gotta have a man, goddamn it.
Oh, that's cool.
As long as she got one.
I mean, it's some of this shit, like being in the business like this long, like you have still, are you like a hopeless romantic? You still got hope for love? Like,
Absolutely. I was just engaged for 65 days.
okay, well, hold up.
It was a year ago.
65 days.
He proposed on day 3 and I said yes, and it lasted for 65 days. And then I realized that around day 60, I realized that this is in fact not the rest of my life and I am tripping, and I ended it. So yeah,
And
it
it's
just
Atlanta,
wasn't going
New
to.
York. What city does happen there?
Atlanta.
See, I keep it funky. I dig the story. Atlanta's what all kind of shit happen. You feel me? You don't know what might happen in that bitch.
Atlanta is a special place.
It is. They keep trying to say Atlanta's not real. No, it's very real.
Atlanta is very special, and the nerd, because I'm a nerd too. The nerd in me is going to tell you that one of the reasons why Atlanta is such a special place is because it's a city that's built on granite.
I'm back.
hmm Stone Mountain is granite.
Right. Okay. I did not know that.
You heard of the Guidestones?
Yes.
You know they recently blew it up. The reason why the guy yeah, it's gone. If you look it up, it's gone. I was actually able to visit there. I think it was during COVID. It was during COVID. So I saw it in person. I got pictures and everything. But um, the Guy Stones, the reason why and it's still a mystery of who actually made the Guy Stones, but the people that made it, the reason why they chose that space to make it is because that's where the best granite in the world is, and they made it out of granite. It was the stones were made out of granite, but Atlanta is built on top of granite, and it's the reaction with the moon and the stars and the granite, it shines like just greatness onto the space, and it's just a city of greatness.
I thoroughly just enjoy it.
Yeah, sure.
I always feel like I'm never out there long enough. I don't care if it's
Yeah,
a week, a
I
month.
love it.
I love
I
it.
left for 5 years, and I left for 5 years, and I had a plan to come back. There was a point where I thought I was never going to come back, but then when I realized that things wasn't happening for me the way I thought they were going to happen in New York, I planned to come back and stuck to the script. So here we are. I've been back now. It'll be 5 years. October 1st, actually, it'll be 5 years since I came back to Atlanta.
Oh, no, yeah, I haven't been. I got buddies always talking about when the hell is you gonna get back out here? I just been working and working and working, and
Yeah,
then staying and a few other
at the
things.
end of it,
I'm
I
over.
love it.
Let's go. You feel me? I'm gonna make sure I tap in when I'm out there. You feel me? You ever come this way too? I'm quite sure you got family and homies that can show you around. But
I actually don't. That's the craziest thing. When I was there for Essence, my marketing agent linked me with this photographer. And I literally told him, like, yo, we spent like the whole weekend together. And I told him, like, yo, when I come back, you gotta show me around. I want to like pull up in the regular, like the hood and do the regular shit that y'all do and get out the French Quarter, because that's all I know. And he was like, for sure, I got you. I'm like, I really don't even have nobody here for real. I don't. Like, I don't got no folks anymore. I don't got no family there. I don't know nobody that's from there for real.
well, now you do.
But yeah,
Now you
I
do.
appreciate it. I
Sure.
appreciate
Now you
it.
do. Anytime you come down here, you give me a heads up. You feel me? Me and my people, me and wifey, show you around. Me and wifey cook for you, fam. Like I really,
I love that. I appreciate that.
she could have been doing anything. Particularly
Southern hospitality is real. I try to tell people all the time.
grow up, grow
Yeah.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got my sister Mia is a great cook too, and she does a lot of things talking to kids. We still do the Limerick reunion tour, like spot dates and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so but anytime you're down here, man, you give me any kind of heads up. Well, even if I'm not here, I could put you in the right direction for whatever you're trying
I
to do.
love that. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
No doubt. You feel me? What are now some personal goals of yours? You know what I'm saying? Like, that you could share at least.
So my biggest goal is to open up a restaurant in honor of my mother. This is her picture right here on my chain. I want to name it after her. And the restaurant is gonna be, people always say, well, what kind of food? Not soul food, just good food. Comfort food, the food that I grew up eating. My mother was a herbalist, so everything was from scratch.
Yeah.
We were not fed processed foods. Um, we didn't eat a lot of beef, no pork at all. The only soda we drank was ginger ale because black people think that's a cure-all for everything. But everything was always fresh, never frozen. Nothing out of a can unless it was like maybe tuna. Um, I'm talking like cornbread from scratch. I'm talking like, I only remember going to a restaurant as a child one time, and that's when I graduated from private school. We went to lunch at TGI Fridays. Other than that, every birthday, every holiday, every baby shower, every family gathering was at my mother's house. And as soon as you was old enough to chop an onion without chopping off your pinky finger, then guess what? You was in that kitchen.
It'll work.
So, um, I just I have a lot of my mother's recipes in my memory bank. I cook a lot of her food. My mother had this thing about her where she would put her own little spin on things. Like she would just put a special ingredient in something that you didn't even expect to be in there, but that was the thing that made it so good. And I followed that with her cooking. And then also The number one ingredient in everything is always love. And yeah. And the reason why, so a long time ago, I got dragged on the Breakfast Club. It was during COVID, actually. It was a Zoom interview with the Breakfast Club. And there's a story that we tell on lip service all the time about the guy that took me to Applebee's or Valentine's Day. He flew me out to take me to Applebee's, and I never spoke to him afterwards. And so Angela had me tell that story to Charlemagne, and then in the comments they was dragging the fuck out of me like, "Oh, you was raised on McDonald's, now you too good for Applebee's." I never said I was too good for Applebee's. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about if it was a 2 for 20. I don't even know if that was a thing back then because this was 30 years ago. But the whole thing about, well, not 30, 20, but the whole thing about it was I worked at Wendy's as a teen. I worked at Houlihan's. I worked at TGI Fridays. I worked at the local pizza spot, in my neighborhood. And I know what happens with that food behind that wall. Like behind those doors, they dropping your food on the floor. They not washing their hands after they use the bathroom. They coughing and hacking and sneezing and snotting, and they not taking care of your food. Even down to the server. Them servers hate their jobs. They hate that chicken Alfredo you just ordered. They're not going to put any good energy into that meal as they're serving it to you. You just another motherfucker at table 9, and they don't give a fuck about what you eat or what happens to you when you leave there. And
Right.
that transfer of energy and food is real.
Right.
Also, a lot of that stuff is pre-made, processed, freeze dried, frozen in a Ziploc bag. They drop it in some hot water and bring it back to life. I wasn't raised eating like that. So I don't eat like that. There was a time when I had fast food for the first time and I was able to buy it myself. I want to say it was in middle school. And there was a time I had a run when I ate fast food and I ate all of the chain restaurants and all of that until I realized how damaging it was to my body, until I realized how all of those preservatives and the processed and the chemicals is just not what I should be putting into my body. You are what you eat. You are what you consume. You give away what you consume. I don't have makeup on right now. My skin is clear because I eat fresh food and I drink water and I take vitamins and supplements. I want to continue to give my body what it needs. So Applebee's is not what my body needs. So when it comes to the restaurant, I want to give that. I want to give these recipes from my mom. Leo, get away from me. I want to give that. He ain't never been up my ass so much. Come on. I want to give these recipes that my friends love that I cook. My family love my recipes. I want to share them with the world. And I think that is the best way to honor my mother. My mother was like Big Mama. My mother was everybody's caregiver. My mother, her door was always open with a warm place to sleep and a hot food to eat, a hot meal to eat. It was always some leftovers or something she can unthaw real quick and bring back to life in the crock pot. And family member, friend, or foe. My mother's door was always open for anybody who needed a safe space. And I am like that. Um, Out of my 4 sisters, I feel like that's one of her traits that I picked up. And I just really continue to live my life that way. And the restaurant is definitely my biggest goal right now. But as far as things that I have actually happening, because the restaurant is still just, you know, up here. But as far as things that I have actually happening, so going back to Magic City, we are about to drop our documentary.
Okay.
Um, it's a 3-part. Did you hear about it?
Nah, but man, you bringing me a brush right now. Break it down for me.
So it's a 3-part docu-series. It's already done.
Okay.
Um, it's coming to Stars this year. Stars already bought it. It's a done deal. The ink has dried. It was a secret until about 2 weeks ago. Well, at least I thought it was a secret until about 2 weeks ago. But JD put it on his story and Magic City reposted it. So
Okay.
I guess it really ain't a secret no more. There hasn't been official press release yet to say that Stars picked it up, and I'm literally waiting on that call right now from production to let me know, to give me the heads up that the press release is coming with the release date. But I was told from production that it would be out this year. Jermaine Dupri is an EP. Drake's Dream Crew production company who did Euphoria and what's the one from London?
Uh,
Top Top
top
uh
top boy.
Top Boy, I think. Yeah. And then they also did the Tupac documentary. So that's the production company that's behind it. They're EP as well. Jamie Gertz, her and her husband own the Hawks. They are EPs as well. Magic City, of course. So not only did I, of course, give an interview, but I narrate all three parts and I have a producer credit. So I was on the pitch team. I
Nice.
was in every single meeting with every single network, and we actually ended up getting sold to Stars.
Oh,
So that's happening this year. I'm really very excited about it. Thank you. It's a big deal. Excuse me, not right now. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Besides that, I have a book. Um, the book is not what everybody thinks it's gonna be. It's gonna be the story of my life, right? But contrary to what some rappers might say, I'm not super hit. Yeah. You know, I do what I do and I do it well, but that ain't nothing that I'm about to tell in this book,
sure.
right? The book is definitely my life story being told, but from a mental health standpoint,
Okay.
because I've seen and done and experienced and overcome so much that if you hear my story and don't see the visual, you wouldn't think that when you finally met the girl that went through all of this, that she looked like this. Right. So I use all of everything that I've been through. I spent 90 days on Rikers Island. I've seen death in multiple capacities. I've cheated death multiple times. I've been in abusive relationships. I had two different boyfriends try to kill me. Just craziest shit that I've experienced in my life. And I used all of this pressure to make me into a diamond
Sure.
when the average woman would have been battered and broken and bitter. I did the opposite. So it's actually a psychiatrist who is writing the book. It was her idea to tell it from a mental health standpoint. And I'm literally like balls deep in the middle of that right now. Um, so that's happening. And then Lip Service South is happening. Excuse me, Lip Service South with an F. So South, yeah. So Lip Service South is a spinoff to Lip Service. It's my show. I'm hosting out of Atlanta.
Oh,
I am I'm doing studio with the celebrities, just like lip service, but we're also going to bring in some experts that the people might not know, but they need to know. And I'm also going to be outside. I have my niece as my co-host, Ivy Maguire, and we are doing more just not in studio, but also in the media space. So we just did the Funk Fest last week here in Atlanta. That was with Big Boy and Goody Mob and who else was there? Big Boy, Goody Mob, the
Erica.
Young Bloods, Erica Badu, Young Dro. It was a bunch of people. So we did that, and that's actually going to be my first episode.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, Lip Service South. You know, everybody got a cousin from down south that they love,
So,
and Lip Service South is Lip Service cousin from down south that everybody gonna love. So I'm really excited about that. It's definitely in its beginning stages. Like I said, we haven't even dropped our first episode yet, but it's in the works. It's actually being edited right now. And it was Angela's idea. So yeah, Lip Service is also coming up on its 10th anniversary, 10 years of doing lip service. And we have a new host. That tea, this is some tea. People might have seen that we had a new person, but we're officially going to announce her as our official co-host for our 10th anniversary episode. So that'll happen in September. And yeah, you know, every day is just a new day for me to be thankful and grateful with what I have and what's to come. And I'm only in competition with who I was yesterday. So, you know, I got my blinders on. It's me versus me. That's it. Yeah.
man, I'm honestly, I'm proud. I'm happy for you. Like,
Thank you.
saying, to see these wins and things are blossoming for you. You know what I'm saying? I love your perspective on how you looked at basically, that pressure turned into a diamond. Or I mean, you got it, and you're gonna get this work. Simple as that. You know what I mean? And it's so fitting for somebody like yourself who's not scared to tell it how it is, and we have a genuine, raw perspective that people need to hear of you getting your own wave and lip service south. You heard me? Shout out to Angelique for knowing the vision and trusting this person right here, this awesome person, to make
Yeah.
this happen. You feel me? And narrating the three-part series, Magic City. Just be clear.
It's called Magic City, an American Fantasy, and it's coming to stars. It's a three-part docuseries. I'm not sure if they're going to do like three different dates, like week after week with the release. I'm not really sure how that's going to go. And I've actually only seen the first episode. So we did our world premiere at South by Southwest this year in Austin. And so I was able to see the first episode, and man, what a feeling. Like, I can't even really put it into words. That place changed my life almost 20 years ago. And here we are, full circle moment. It's about to change my life again 20 years later.
So,
And like I said in the beginning, strip is taboo. It's always been, it always will be. And it's just good to be able to like give insight and share. And some of the celebrities that are on the documentary, of course, you have JD, Nelly, T.I., Two Chains, Killer Mike, Big Boy, Quavo, Future, Esco, um, Dominique Wilkins, Shaq. Um, Lou Will is telling his story about breaking the NBA bubble for the lemon pepper wings. Remember when Nelly swiped the black card down the girl booty? So that was white chocolate, right? So you have Nelly telling his version of that story. You have white chocolate telling her version of the story. And then you have the activists from Spelman who boycotted against Nelly boycotted against BET Uncut for the video. You have all three of them telling their perspective of that story. We finally get to meet Mr. Magic, because if you haven't been in Magic City and you wasn't formally introduced to that man, nobody knows. He's like Wizard Kelly. Like, nobody knows what that man looks like, sounds like, nothing. And so you finally get to meet Mr. Magic and his sons, and you learn a story about him and how 40 years later, even after doing a 9-year bid in the feds, he's still holding it down strong. And there's dancers from every decade. We talking 40 years, so it's a lot happening. DJ the Brain Supreme, whoop, there it is. He was the DJ at the time of the rise of Magic City, and you got him telling his story in the song, and all of the rappers talking about how they break their music at Magic, and it's a wonderful, wonderful story to be told. I actually learned a lot of stuff about the club myself during this time when I was in studio doing my narration stuff. And I tell a lot of these stories on lip service and when I do other interviews. And in the comments, they think I'm capping. Well, now you about to hear it from all the celebrities that was there. Now the walls is finna talk. And y'all, for all y'all out there that thought I was capping, the walls is finna tell y'all themselves what the fuck happened. And I need my apology.
and you
Okay.
can see her name in the motherfucking credits.
And you're going to listen, that's the best part for me. You're gonna see my name in the credits, and you're gonna see my titties in the first episode. Period. I had to sign a nudity waiver because my titties is in episode 1. Okay.
The new ones or the other ones?
These ones, live and direct. The 2024. Well, we did it in 2023. 2023 Gigi Maguire titties. These ones right here, piercings and all. You probably can't see that in this, but piercings and all in that first episode.
And you're getting that exclusively on her documentary that she's sharing with all those celebrity guests on that thing. You feel me? I told you, bro. I told you this is crazy. This woman is an incredible individual, a survivor, an amazing storyteller. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, entrepreneur that you guys had no idea that you're gonna be loving her restaurant. You feel me? You're gonna be enjoying her food. You're gonna be enjoying her movies. You already been enjoying her show on P Valley, watching about her life. You feel
The
me? You've been
show, the book, the restaurant. I don't even know what's next, but
right?
there's always going to be something. Oh, I'm also doing, because the game is to be sold, not told. I'm doing the e-manual for the dancers, for the baby strippers.
Ooh.
I'm finally dropping these GG gems.
Ooh.
Oh, how can I forget the last dance? Because we spoke about the last dance. So there's a clip on my Instagram pinned to my reels that is the 1 minute, the final minute of my last dance, right? That is the only clip of that footage that's online. You cannot find any last dance footage on the internet anywhere. The only way you know what happened that night is it. Oh, now here come lady. Come on. Come on. If you were there, it's my baby. This was my first talk.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Lady, it was just you and Lady.
Ladybug. I got her during COVID.
Okay, wow.
We
What's up,
just
Lady
used to,
Bug?
we just used to lay around and cuddle all during COVID. And
Wow.
then my niece came down and she got Leo.
Okay.
We were all living together, and then she realized that when she moved out, she realized that having a dog is a real responsibility when you don't have any help. So she dropped him back off to me and was like, "Bitch, you got it." So now I have both of them. Um, but yeah, my bad. Y'all got to give me 5 minutes. I'm almost done. But yeah, so the last dance, right? There's no footage of that. If you were not there that night, December 12th, December 10th, 2011, if you were not in the building or you do not have, I filmed it for DVD and I sold 500 copies. So if you do not have one of those 500 DVDs or know somebody that got one of those DVDs, or you were not in the building that night, you do not know what happened. You did not see it besides that 1 minute clip. So currently I am re-releasing, I am in the process. I go to Chicago. My production company is in Chicago. And I go to Chicago next week, in 2 weeks. The first week after Labor Day, I'm in Chicago that weekend. And I'm doing my very last filming for The Last Dance Remastered. And I am going to re-release the footage of The Last Dance. There's an updated so I'm re-releasing the performance footage, but there's an updated like what have I been doing since then? Where am I now? What I got happening? I actually do a reaction video. So I'm kind of like explaining the performance. And there's some day in the life things that I'm gonna do when I go back to Chicago with my people. And then yeah, it's gonna be in post and I'm putting it out on the website. I was gonna put it on Patreon at first, but Patreon take 20%, and I need all my coins. So there's going to be a website. But The Last Dance Remastered, I've been actually working on it for over a year now. I thought that I was going to be able to put it out in 6 months, but y'all, TV take forever. Now I see why they film movies and we don't see them for 3 years. That editing process, TV takes a long time. Y'all be patient with P Valley. Be patient with y'all favorite TV shows. Be patient with these movies that y'all hear about because the editing, post-production process of a feature film or documentary is a long process and you just have to have patience. You can't rush greatness. But I'm finally done. I'm down to the last. I got one more thing to film and then it's just, a couple of weeks of editing and then I'll be able to release. So The Last Dance Remastered is coming. Y'all finally gonna get to see this performance. Y'all finally gonna get to see the 28,000 on the floor.
Hey,
And because I talk about it so much. It's been what 13, 14 years almost. It'll be 14 years and 25 since this night happened. But it was an epic night in strip history. Like I said, you can scroll down Instagram right now and probably see a dancer in your hometown doing the last dance because she decided to retire. Jessica Dime, one of my stripper sisters, her storyline on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was her doing her last dance in Miami and moving to Atlanta. Remember her and Jocelyn got to fighting. And P Valley, their first 2 episodes, oh, I'm sorry, first 2 seasons was about the main character trying to have her last dance. And yeah, like I said, I didn't know that it would become something so epic, but it did. And I'm re-releasing that for the people. So
wow. Hey, you know
that's
what?
what's coming first. That's coming before anything else.
That's coming first. If you don't,
That's coming first.
it's coming first. Last Dance remastered, revitalized,
Yes.
behind the scenes coming first. I appreciate you, man. You are really, really a light. You feel me? Really, really
Thank you.
appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening. Appreciate
You
you.
do the same. Appreciate it.
Okay, babe.